me. Okay, so we're going to be recording this for the other Goonies that are on the inside the group. First of all, I want to appreciate everybody and their patience as I restart the productivity coaching. If some of you guys have been wondering, well, you've been announcing it for like the past 2 or 3 weeks, what the heck are you doing? I literally have to restart and rebuild the whole entire productivity training from start. Okay. And now those of you know me, I am also the Market Center Tech Trainer. I also own my own digital marketing firm. I also am a real estate agent. I also am a husband and father. And I have 3 cats that are really annoying, but I love them to death. So like all of you, I'm a little busy. No excuses. You have my undivided attention and as much time as I possibly could give you. Okay. I will be doing just to tell everybody, to get everybody, you know, what's going on. During the day, I still do my Market Center Tech training. So you have 2 opportunities. During our coaching, the previous coaches weren't very techy. Connor was relatively techy, but he still didn't know everything that I know. So I'm going to give you 2 approaches. I'm going to give you, this is how the script reads, and this is how the tools you could use to get yourself. Hold on, Daniel. Lily, why are you in inside the other place too?
I was trying to connect on to my laptop instead of
Oh,
my
okay.
phone.
All right, no problem. I wasn't sure if you had a split personality, so both personalities. I mean, that's fine too. I'm good. As long as we get double the commission, we're scoring. All right. So when you have tech issues, or I'm telling you, listen, like Melba and I were coaching yesterday, and I gave her some things she needs to do, part of her coaching, and she's going to set up a separate appointment to do the tech stuff. So when we do our one-on-ones, I want that to be more philosophical, emotional, getting you going, holding you accountable, strip practice, whatever you need to download. Okay. We're also going to be doing during our first sessions, and I just got this, so I have to double check with Melba and some of the other agents that I've done one-on-ones with. I'm going to get you a form that's going to read very simple. You're going to give me permission to hold you accountable. And that to me is something that's huge. I need you to commit to me that you're going to be willing to do the work that we need to do to see you to success. Okay? Because it's not easy. And trust me, if there's somebody that knows it, it's not easy when you're doing 17 other things as well. I feel you. But to me, it's important that you take this that seriously, that I'm going to have a commitment with you and you're going to have a commitment with me. Okay. All right. Enough of the preliminary stuff. Let's start. Let's jump on this. We had somebody else join us, but I don't know where he went or she. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. Today, what we're going to start to do is we're going to discuss getting started with buyers. Okay. There is a lot to learn when it comes down to buyers. We might think we know what we're talking about, yet we really don't. Okay, so impromptu, if you have any questions, open up your mics. We're going to be here to answer any and all questions. Okay, if you're watching this on replay, post your questions inside the group, post them inside WhatsApp chat, well, wherever's easiest, or you could hit me up in an email, whichever's easiest for you. Some quick things to know. I'm going to share this with everybody also. I'm going to add more to this as we go along. Quick things to know. Before you meet your buyer, please think about the following. One is a high suggestion. One is the other 2 are you really should do. First, I am going in early March. I'm going for my CBR, which is being given by LIBOR. It's $200 and something. I am investing in myself as your coach. I need to make sure that I have all the legalese on what to say and what to do with a buyer. Okay, it's highly suggested that we do this. We will try our darndest to get you inside training. Like I'm going to hook you up with DIO and some others to really help us out. But in reality, a CBR or an ABR. CBR is certified buyer rep. ABR is something buyer rep. I think accredited or something like that. Right, Amelmo? You know what it is, what ABR is?
I think it is accredited.
Okay, I think it's accredited. If not, we're gonna go with accredited, and that's my answer. It's going to give you, they give you a presentation. They tell you all the legal reasons why you need it. For example, did you know if you don't have them sign an agreement, legally you work for the seller. You don't represent that buyer. What can you say? What can't you say? Officially, and this is as per Roy, you're not even supposed to be negotiating for them. Okay, yes, eye opener. I was shocked by that too. Example is, let's say you found out that the listing, the seller, right, is getting divorced. But nobody really supposed to know that, but you know that they want to sell quick. If that is your buying customer, excuse me, you're not allowed to tell them that. While if they're your customer, you could give them that advice. Say, hey, listen, we can play hardball because they have to get divorced and she hates him and he hates her and blah, blah, blah. And they're fighting over the dog, whatever. So you could get deep with that. So that's what CBR and ABR is going to help us out with all those legalese. So I will be taking it in March. We're going to be having another whole class at the end of March with all my newfound knowledge. And I don't know how I'm going to do it because I have so much time, free time on my hands, but such is life. We're going to create a buyer presentation in KW. I will be having a separate tech session during my MCTT time in the next 2 weeks, and we're going to create one. I'm going to tease it today, and I'm going to show it to you. And I'll get into it in a few points in a minute, why you need a buyer's presentation, okay? Now, do you know, why am I going over the buyer presentation? Why am I going over buyers first? A, the money is in the listing. Let me repeat this again. The money is in the listing. Did I happen to tell you that the money's in the listing? But listings are harder to come by right now. You could shake a tree and you're gonna get a buyer. Most of us will have a buyer, especially the newer agents. Most of us will get a buyer before we're gonna get a listing. So I need you to know what to do beforehand, because I've already spoken to our PC agents and they've already done a few cardinal sins. So I want to get into that. Any questions so far?
No, you answered that question about
Okay.
the why buyers first.
Okay. Now, and that's why I preface the point that everything we do is to get a listing. But hopefully you're going to get 2 to 3 or 4 buyers from every listing. And if you don't know what to do with the buyer, you're going to sit there and go, okay. And you're going to do mistakes, which could cause you to miss deals. We're going to get heavy into listings, and that's always going to be a constant training. So I just want to start off with this. Role play your presentation and your buyer scripts. We're going to start to have script partners. I'm going to start posting people inside the group or in chat. Get to know who your fellow PC people are and have accountability and script partners. I suggest doing it in PC, but if there's an agent outside of PC that you could do it with and you feel comfortable, great. Like Imelda, I know that you're good with Chambers. So if you feel more comfortable having him, okay. Then I suggest somebody in PC. The reason why is misery likes company. And if you make a silly mistake, you don't feel embarrassed by doing it in front of a mega agent. You do it in front of a fellow PC that probably does the same mistake or is just as good or just as bad as you. All right. That's the stuff that I would say are the prerequisites. I'm sure there's a few others, but that would be the ones that I would say. Things to ensure while you're working with a buyer. This stuff is before you meet the buyer. 1, ensure you understand all the buyer paperwork that needs to be signed before you get started. You can be fined, you can be sued, you can be in mucho problemo. Wow, I don't even have a Spanish accent, man. How sad am I? You could have really big issues if you don't know. So you should have a buyer's agreement, which we're going to go over with Roy on how to fill that out and sign that and get that going. Definitely the agency's disclosure. And if this is going to be your customer, not your client, you have to ensure that that agency disclosure denotes you work for the listing and the seller. Okay? And of course, the fair housing. Those are the three base documents you need to have. Okay? Fair housing is extremely important these days. And I can tell you the state needs money and the city needs money. So they're going around, and testing us. So be very careful with that. Okay? You want to fill out a buyer's needs analysis. Can anybody tell me what a needs analysis is? Don't
I
even-
can.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, a buyer's needs analysis is basically, you're asking them questions to see what they want, so that you know how you can effectively help them to get them the house or condo co-op that they want. You want to get to know your buyer so you can help them as much as you can, so you can be the best agent that you can be for that buyer or buyers.
Absolutely. Understand something. The key to sales, buying or selling, the key to sales is God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them appropriately. We tend as agents, as salespeople, to get scared. And I have to talk. And if I talk a lot and I talk fast, they're going to want me. I know it. I know it. No, it's not about you. Sales and real estate is nothing to do with you. What it has to do with is the client. Now, I'm going to bring up one that I'm going to share that I like and a basic one. Can everybody see the in front of me? The thing I just popped up? Okay. I'm going to tweak this, but this is a really good needs analysis. Analysis. Forgive me, I had oral surgery yesterday. So if I drool and I lisp, that's because I'm missing a whole tooth. Okay. And it hurts like an SLB. I just want to say that. Okay. Scrolling into your needs analysis. I'm going to attempt to have this created. You can fill it out or make it onto an online Google form and share it with you guys. A, getting started. Phone numbers. Husband and wife, wife and wife, husband and husband, whatever the freaking makeup is, God bless them. Who's the primary contact? Very often, the husband wants nothing to do with it, see my wife or vice versa. You want to know who you need to talk to and impress, because that's what you really need. And what's the best time and phone number? If they're only good at night after 6 and they want to be text message, why are you emailing them during the day? Okay. What's prompting this move? You'll be surprised at some of the information you could get. Oh, I'm getting divorced and I need a house. I need to get away from my husband, my wife. Okay. That tells you that you got to be sensitive. All right. When do you need to be invited? Really important. These days, it could take you 3 to 6 months to get a house. It could take you 3 to 4 months to get an offer accepted. Okay. So real big. Are you approved for a mortgage? Que Dios lo bendiga, the person that doesn't take a moment to ensure their customer client is pre-approved. Why is getting a pre-approval so important?
You want to know what the bank is offering, how much money they have in their wallet.
You got people who have delusions of grandeur.
Yes.
Yo, man, I want $1 million home. All right, but you got like $3.52 in the bank, dude. You ain't gonna be good for nothing.
Sometimes I even ask them, well, how much can you afford a month? Because you may have $1 million pre-approval, but you can only afford a $600,000 monthly payment.
Great point. And I ask that question all the time. Matter of fact, hold on. I want to add that to our list. Always ask what they can afford. Different than what they are approved for. Now, this includes taxes. If you're selling in Long Island, on Long Island, one of those two. If you're selling on Long Island, especially in Nassau County, taxes are through the roof. I'm a Queens boy. I said I would never go east of Bethpage. I now live in East Northport. Why? Because my taxes are $6,000 to $7,000 a year, not $16,000 a year. So, and that's even high for Queens. If I was living in Queens. So what you want to make sure is what they can afford. Exactly what Amilba said. Because taxes might bring them through the roof, and they maybe on paper they could afford $1 million, but they only want to spend X dollars a month, and that brings them down to $500,000. Big difference. Okay, what's your price range? That should be based on the affordability, not so much your pre-approval. Okay, if we found you a home that meets all your needs and as many as you want as possible, would you make an offer? Why is this so important? Anybody?
You want to see their level if they're actually ready to buy, because sometimes people get a pre-approval but they're not ready. You want to see if they're really willing and able.
Excellent. Listen, tire kickers do not apply. Right now, the buying market is so hot. Do you want to take these tire kickers left and right and all about? No. You want to make sure these people. Now, I ask a follow-up to this on a scale of 1 to 10, Nanika. What are you when you want to on buying a home? If they ain't a 9 or a 10, I ain't talking to them. I'll follow up with them. I might show them a few houses on my app. Maybe I'll take them to an open house if I feel I could sway them. But you don't want to do it in today's market. You don't want to do it. You just don't. Okay. Who'll be living inside the house? Will anyone be spending occasions overnights? You want to ask that question because they might only want a 2-bedroom, but if they have a big family, you might suggest getting a 3-bedroom because you might need a guest room. Okay. Do you need office? These days, that's a very important point because a lot of people working from home. Does your home need to accommodate any special needs? You might have, like, for example, I had a buying client. This is where listening came involved, who she was living there with 3 generations, mom and grandmom. Showed her a house. She wanted the house. I said, you can't buy it. She goes, what do you mean I can't buy it? I'm the customer. I say we buy it. No, I go, this house has steps everywhere. You got to step into the living room. You got to step into the kitchen. You got to step up to the 3rd floor. Your grandmother is living with you. What are you going to do with grandma? She looked at her. She goes, oh my God, you're absolutely right. She appreciated the point that I listened to her during the needs analysis. Okay. Tell me about the ideal location. I'm not going to go through everything on this list because it's pretty self-explanatory. Get 90% of this done. They shouldn't be annoyed. You have to sell this in a way, I need to know what's important to you, okay? Because I'm here to help you. It's all about you. Now, some of these questions are quick. If it's a co-op, you're probably not going to have a fireplace and stuff like that. So you might want to go through the neighborhood. The reason why you ask the neighborhood is they might have a specific neighborhood in mind, but you might have a better neighborhood that could help them. We ended up showing one of our customers the South Shore. By the time we finished, they bought in Westchester because by the time we finished, they made a right turn in Albuquerque because the neighborhood that they really wanted with the taxes was actually up in near White Plains. All this is coming because we did a proper needs analysis. And okay, what's ahead? Really important. Going through the steps of what to accept, what to expect. The really important ones are these, and I'll put them on my list because I didn't. You need to sit here and understand. Right now, we are in a seller's market, which means inventory is low and there are more buyers than homes. You will be competing against 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 other buyers and offers. I'm not exaggerating. Some agents we worked with last year had up to 20 to 30 offers on houses. And as the market starts building, you will see that. You need to tell them, A, are you ready to work and act quickly? Do you understand that if it goes 5, 10, even maybe $15,000 over what you feel your asking price is, are you ready to make that decision? Because, and you're going to do the math, it's an extra $50 a month on 30-year mortgage. Because that's what it really comes down to. Quite often, your buyer will say, no, I don't want that offer to go through for $10,000, and that's a whopping $50 to $100 more a month. That should make or break them. Does this make sense, guys? Also, get their schedule. Very important. Any questions? You think this is going to be helpful, this list? All right.
Yes.
Billy, you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Just want to make
Yes.
sure you fall asleep on me. All right.
You can make this into a Google form.
Yes, I'm gonna try to create that into a Google form. I have my VA translate that to a Google form and I'll share it with you guys. Or at least a Google Doc, and then you can make it a form.
Oh, can we make it into a fillable?
I could do that too.
PDF.
Man, you want a lot, Miha, okay?
It's so much easier.
No, I'm teasing. I'm gonna do anything that makes it easy for you guys. All right. Always meet with your buyer and provide a presentation. I never want to hear, oh, I'm so excited, dog. I got a buyer. Well, what you getting? Well, my friend's uncle's sister's nephew's cousin who works at the supermarket wants to buy a house, and I'm meeting him this Sunday at 2 open houses. Oh, do you know who you're meeting? Well, yeah, my sister's friend's uncle's nephew's son who works at the supermarket. I know who they are. Okay, do you have a pre-approval? Do you have this? Do you have that? And this is of the utmost. Do you know who the hell you're meeting? Have you met them eye to eye? Do they look like a serial killer? Okay, did you do a Google search on this person? People, you're meeting these people for the first time at a house. You don't have a clue. If it's a vacant house, God forbid what they could do. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to be real. Trying to be real, okay? Always be sure you know who they are. Never feel embarrassed if you have to say, do me a favor, according to New York State, I need to ask for a government ID. Do you mind if I see that? Listen, that's legal. You want to know who the hell you're working with.
Mhm.
Okay, take a picture if you got to. Write it down, write their number down. Also, if you're meeting them in Starbucks or something like that, tell somebody where you're going. Very important that somebody knows where the heck you are. And if you don't report in after the next sewing, God forbid, do something. I don't want to scare you. I want to protect you. I do this with my own self. I'm a chicken shit, so I make sure that everybody knows what the hell I am. I'm not brave. I was a Boy Scout. I am brave, actually, because that's one of the models. All right, provide your website and your app. There's a lot you could do with your website and your app. Okay, how do we do the website or the app? The website you should know. Just give me your URL. I'm gonna get on to my phone. Okay, you
How
guys
do you
start.
get your phone from the online? Like,
Well, because me, the tech guy, and you're not. Okay, now I'm gonna do my thumb because I don't trust you people with my passcode.
time black.
Oh, that's a
Time-
time block? That was supposed to say time block. What does that tell you? Hey, maybe it's time block. You don't know. All right, go to your go to your app. It's the red one. It's the red letters with white KW. Open it up. Now, if you're at an open house, hit the little direction arrow. Boop. That will bring you to, it should bring you to your listing with the little number above it. Now
Mhm.
you could click on it and you could share the listing automatically with that person. Hi, I'm a green agent. You know, I'd rather do this. I'm going to share this listing with you. It's going to automatically download it. And if you can, you could download my my downloadable real estate app. It's also my business card. Here are some of the great things you could do with it. First of all, you told me, okay, stop it. Go down. You told me that this is your first time buying. Well, right here, I have a step-by-step buying guide that you could click on that's going to give you all the information you need to start your search, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. It also tells you how and the steps to selling a house. This also gives you, you could search anywhere in the United States, including landmarks. You want to live near the Brooklyn Bridge? If I spelled that right, okay, you could go search by the Brooklyn Bridge. Look at that. And often it also has, I did this with a new agent. She wanted to know about a big synagogue in Great Neck. It actually brought the synagogue up. So if it's a big enough place, that's pretty impressive to me. Because you have people, I want to live near this, I want to live near that. Okay, maybe you want to live near Eisenhower Park for the kids. All right, plop it in. You also could save, you could do this. We're going to have a special class of videos on this. The most important is go to more. Make sure your profile has your picture and your information. This has your Keller coverage, which is the 5 or 6 insurance companies. Keller Mortgage, this will bring them to your Keller Mortgage page. And there's a whole bunch of benefits to that. Affordability calculator. The most important thing, share your app. Every time you are somewhere, share your app. Okay? Right here, text, Facebook, wherever you want to do it. Everybody got that? This is a two-second thing, but you want to, there is a ton of stuff that you could do. You could create a collection of houses, name it Nanika's Bayshore Homes, and you could share it with Nanika, and you could share it with her, okay, and her husband or whoever else is buying the house with her, and then they could comment on it. They could add houses to the collection, the whole bit. There's a lot of other tools to use, but I want you to start using your app and your website. It drives leads automatically into your funnel. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, always ask them, what is their way? I have no clue what the hell I was writing there. So that tells you that I'm either getting old or I'm hungry. Oh, what's the best way to communicate? Maybe that's
I
it.
was like, what is their way?
What is the best way to communicate?
But that's on the analysis, no?
Yeah, that's on the analysis too. But I just want to make sure these are key questions. I always want to make sure that at minimum you need to ask.
Okay.
Go in 2 separate cars. Why don't you want to take your clients around with you? Very simple. Liability. You get into a car accident. Guess what? They're suing your ass. Oh, excuse me. They're suing your butt.
That's okay.
They don't want to do that. And you might have to talk to the next house and say, dude, really, I need to do this. I've taken my client on 17 houses. Please take my offer. There might be begging and groveling inside. Never allow your client to go alone, especially your customer. A, if it's your customer, you have no recourse to get the commission. B, there are some nasty agents out there. They will steal your commission.
Then how do you leverage? Because sometimes like someone has a, well, I guess this specific to open houses, like I don't necessarily go with my buyer who's a customers right now to an open house because gotta leverage the time.
I can respect that. One of the things I like to do is like
I do a courtesy, sometimes I do a courtesy text or call to let them know that I'm sending a buyer. Not often, because some agents are a little like, but if you can't make it, then don't come. So I don't want to ruin the opportunity for the customer. So
everything is right. What I would try to do is schedule this. You have to once you get the needs analysis, you want to fine tune how many houses you're going to take them. Take them to a few open houses. Okay. Spend the afternoon with them, getting to know what they're looking for. Yes, if you need to, and they want to see a few open houses, call every single open house, text over your business card, grovel. I am so sorry, Amelba. I never do this. It's like I got 2 other buyers and an open house that day. Do me a favor. My client Lily is gonna pop over. She wants to see it. I'm gonna take care of all the paperwork. I'm gonna take care of everything. She's gonna have my card. You have it. Can you do me a favor? In most cases, if you grovel and plead a lot, you do that, they understand.
Or you send the pre-approval in advance. They also
Yes.
understand.
Absolutely. Send them over the pre-approval. That's the type of stuff that will get them like excited. Okay? That's really important. Use your website. Always ask what they could afford. That's what we just went over. Okay? Anything else you could think of that you do that I might have missed?
I mean, most of it was in the analysis, but I mean, to me, the biggest thing, what's your motivation? Like, why are you
Right.
moving?
Oh, that might have been what it is. What's their why? Did I ask that? That's in here.
Oh,
Oh, maybe that's what it was. What's their why? You're 100% right.
because
And
then,
that's
then
usually
you,
right after this.
because
Oh,
then
that's
I
what I was
use,
trying to
I
put here.
use that in the conversation.
Why is that so important?
Hold on a second. Son's at the door.
All right, go ahead. All right. What's their
It's a-
why? The reason why
It's
you won't, go ahead. No,
it's
no,
important-
go ahead, answer.
Oh, it's important for motivate, I use it as a reminder when things are not looking so great. And then you also get an understanding of what, timeline wise too, right? Because it's like, oh, my lease is gonna expire, or my mom is, or my parents, whatever it is, whatever the circumstances are, try to use it in our conversation and leverage it. Okay.
The same exact thing for a listing, same exact thing for all my PC agents. One of the first things you and I do on a one-on-one is, what's your big why? Why are you doing this? And I don't want to hear, I pay the bills, I love my kids. I want to know I want to dig in deep so I could sit there and poke Imelda's why every single time that she doesn't want to make a phone call. And the same thing with all of us. But that's exactly it. You want to sit there and gently remind the buyer or the seller, hey, you told me that you needed to buy this house because you want to get in before September. It's now, June. We got to still get through an offer, contract, a mortgage approval, and everything else. We might want to start moving. So I understand you didn't like the last place because it had pink walls, but you do know that walls could get painted, right? And you'll be surprised at how sometimes the most dumbest things in the world are stopping these. I don't like the carpeting. Okay, well, you're going to spend a few bucks, take the carpeting up. There might be wood floor. You might be able to get them up. That's the type of stuff, because people don't have an imagination. One of the things you're going to have to do is be a good, you have to be able to paint a nice picture of the house, because sometimes these houses are really bad. Okay, so you got to paint that picture. All right, anything else I might have missed? Ow. Okay. Now, I dusted off one of these presentations. I'm going to give you guys, this is a PowerPoint presentation. This could be done to have a buyer seminar. You could use it as your presentation if you want to tweak it. There's a lot of different things here we could go through. I'm going to quickly go through this, and I'm going to be adding this to the resources of the group. So 6 steps for home ownership. I'm going to add other things. You could also add whatever you want. Okay. 3 key breakthroughs. So you're going to insert your name and the neighborhood photo. You can put in the name of the client if you want, if you're doing this, or in general. You're going to obviously use your mugshot and a little bit of information about yourself, more information. And this just goes through the process of buying a home. Okay. Why aren't you cooperating? Fears and facts, that's the thing. Okay, let's go through this. And you're going to go through some of this stuff. Until you do the math, you don't know what you can or can't afford. We said that earlier. Remember that? We said, and there's 2 types of things. It's what your pre-approval is, but what your pocket is. You know what I mean? We actually got a buying client, one of our first buying clients. She was Asian. She lived in Flushing. She went to her own peeps, and because she was approved for $1 million or something like that, but she only wanted to spend like 400, 500, or 600. They refused to talk. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying to you. It was 600,000 or 700,000 that she was approved, and she was buying a co-op, and she only wanted to spend about 350, 375, and they wouldn't help her. She went to 2 to 3 different agents, and they wouldn't help her because, 3, 4, 5% of 300,000 is not worth it to them. I take that any day and twice on Sundays. Okay. And she loved us ever since, because we said, what is your pocket? All right. What we're going to cover today, and it just goes through. I'm going to leave this up. I'm not going to go through every single thing here, but it goes through a lot of the fears and facts, interest rates, long-term investment, pride of ownership. What it's trying to do is put them in control. It's also, any of these presentations are trying to show why you are the agent that they should go to, and not my cousin Wally. He knows real estate, so he's going to represent me for nothing. Also, you want to remind them that in most cases, you work for free because the seller is going to give you your commission. And if not, you're going to work it into the offer, which Roy's going to help us do that. Owning versus renting. This is huge in New York. Okay. You got people living in Manhattan, Williamsburg, LIC. They're spending $3,000 or $4,000 a month on a 2-bedroom, man. Why? You could be owning for the same $3,000. You know, no, there's reasons why. Oh, I want to be free. I don't want to deal with, you know, this, that, and the other things. So, but you want to peel away that onion. Why hold off on buying? Okay, maybe you got to pay attention to this. Now, you could always delete these slides, you know, if you want. Reality of the market. You're going to put in what the areas and the numbers here about your app, hiring an agent, and so on and so forth. What do you think about the presentation?
How long is it?
That's good.
It's 672. No, it's 49 pages.
This is like, so this is the buyer's presentation when you first meet them, that you go through this?
You could do this as a webinar for like
Okay.
first-time buyers on Zoom and advertise it on Facebook, which is what I highly recommend. You could use a version of this to meet them. It all depends on how impressive. There's another presentation I can show you too. So this is either one. I wouldn't, like, if this person's bought a house or two already, some of this might be too much for them. If it's a
Right.
first-time buyer, because I know, Melba, for example, you're dealing with a lot of first-time buyers, you have that list. This
Mhm.
might be good to invite like a dozen of them on a call and do this. You know what I mean? Or
I was thinking about that too, doing a call with just all the first time home buyers that I've met.
apps, what you do, two things. A, you bring them all into the Zoom meeting. B, you invite one of your mortgage brokers to come along with you to give them all the programs and advice and all that stuff. You and I will talk about that.
Yeah, because this one-off, every 15, 30-minute consultation.
I agree. You know what? Do every Thursday, the third Thursday of the month is first time buyer month, and you have a ongoing webinar. And listen, if 5 people show, great. If 1 person shows, great. If 20 show, even better.
Because, yeah, it's like the people who've called me, but I haven't had the chance to sit down with them and go over a presentation with them.
Yep. And don't forget, you could always record this.
That's what I'd rather do.
That you're
record
giving it, and
and
then
give it.
and give it to them and say, if you have any questions, give me a call.
That's
That's
what I'd
okay to
rather
do.
do.
Okay, I do a lot of that. I do a ton of recording. All right, so you guys are gonna get this inside here. Any questions on this?
No.
All right, this is a Chinsey one that I had wrote up like a long time ago. It just says best methods, when do you want to buy, what areas you're looking for, you know, and basic information. This might be good. It's a short version. If you just want to like pre-screen them to make sure that it's worth moving to the next level of pre-qualing. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
I would like that. Mhm.
Okay, so we're going to share this.
We gotta maximize the time.
I'm with you. That's why I'm telling you, I only work with 9 and 10s. I might work with it an 8 if like I don't have much going on that day. Okay,
Yeah, I had a moment today.
agent.kw.com. Why am I, this is tells you how many people I work with. Hold on, I'm logging out. Okay. Gonna log in. You're gonna log in with your username and password. Now, I'm not going to go into the tech of how to create this. I'm only going to show you that it's available and that I have videos and training to show you how to edit this. You have a bunch of presentations, First thing you want to do is go into designs. Once you log in, you're going to create a design, upper right corner. You're going to go into print because this is a presentation that you're going to print and give them. Okay, once you come up, you're going to see on the left what things you have. You have two types of presentations. You have a listing presentation and you have a buying presentation. The buying presentation, listing presentation are set up in order to impact the person psychologically. So, Lily, as amazing as you are, it's not about you. So you're going to notice in this presentation, you don't even appear until like near the end of the slide. Now, I'm only picking on you because I haven't picked on you on the whole time thing. So there you go. Now, these are different renditions. The inside is the same. It's the cover that's different. All right. I'm going to go with the basic white. That's because I'm cheap and I don't want to print out all that red and use up all my red ink. It's true. Now,
True.
I'm not going to go into how to. That is a MCTT role, and we'll do that later. I'm going to go in one by one. This is a 32-page presentation. All right. Guide to home ownership. And you could also convert PDFs. You could download this as a PDF and you could convert it easily online into a PowerPoint display if you want to do that. And you could break out a tablet and you could go through it, and then you could leave a paper presentation with them afterwards. Okay, so that's multiple ways for you to do it. So one of the first pages is going to be, you guys could see this, right? I'll try to go a little bit bigger.
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing is a buyer console. This is the instruction page. Okay, you don't have to leave this. You're going to delete this from your presentation. Second page is what you're going to do is you're going to edit this with your picture. Okay. You're going to edit this with your picture, your name, your phone number once. You're going to save this as a template.
Is that you in the picture?
Yeah, that's an old picture. It doesn't have my new one. Oh, you got a problem with that? That's me about 60 pounds ago.
I'm like, who is that?
Yeah, that's me. That I was vice president of sales for Irwin Pearl Jewelers at that time. So many moons ago. So you're gonna put this out. So then the only thing you're gonna need to do is change the person's name. The only thing you're gonna do is change the person's name. All right. Table of contents. This is self-explanatory. Okay, a sound decision. It's going into what's the decision of home ownership? Why are they doing this? You could edit these pictures as like. Your needs comes first. Again, noting the psychology of the presentation. It's about them. It's not about you. Instinctively, the first things you're going to do at a presentation is this. Yeah, I'm Augie Diaz. I'm an agent. I'm a marketing guy. I know this. I know that. I know this. I know that. I got this. I got that. I got this. I got that. And you know what they've done already? They've already tuned you out. They don't even give a crap. And that happens every single time you don't go in prepared. The psychological presentation of a listing and a buyer is their needs come first. You're going to see a similar psych review on the listing presentation. What's the one thing? Now, this actually has needs analysis on it too. So it's whatever one you want to utilize, you can. And you could always add more questions to this because you could edit this. Okay. If we could just add one more thing to make this process better, what would it be? Okay. Build your preference profile. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. Me speaking English good. Okay, you're going to go down some of the basic questions that we've already did on the needs analysis. How do you like to be contacted? When do you want to be reached? This is important. Don't call me in the evenings because I'm putting my kid to bed. I sleep with my grandma. You're going to wake her up. Call me in the morning to afternoon, whatever. You'll be surprised. What's your wish list on a home? A whole bunch of questions. You could easily edit and delete these questions based on what you sell and what your things are. More of the wish list, the exterior. You know, I like a ranch, I like modern, I like Cape, I like, you know, Dutch Tudor, whatever it might be. I like a house with 4 walls and a roof. All right, that's simple. I'm good. All right. You hope you get that person just very well thing. Again, what's the interior look like? Bedrooms, how many do you need? Bathrooms, how many? Now, you got to also work with people. I need 3 bathrooms because there's 3 of us. All right, if I find you a good 2-bedroom in a nice house, are you going to be okay with that? And I know this is stupid, and this is me just as a sidebar, because I watch, my wife makes me, and she's going to yell at me because she's in the other room. She makes me watch those stupid Build It shows. And the big question they always say, I needed a house with two sinks. 56 years of life on this earth. I've never had a problem with 1 sink in a house. Never. Mind you, I've been married 2 times and living with the 3rd one. So never came up. Okay, my rant is over now. But you're going to find out what they need, okay? Okay, other home interiors, your dining room, your living room. I'm finding these days that dining rooms aren't as important. I'm thinking people, as long as there's a little space in the kitchen to eat, a little in kitchen, I find, you know, I don't know about you people. What do you see?
They have kids. They want a dining room.
You know what?
Family time.
I've had kids and we never ate in the goddamn, we never ate in the damn dining room. Never did. Only did when a company comes. You're not allowed to sit at the dining table and dirty it. So I don't know. Maybe you're right. All right. Eat in the kitchen. You're not allowed to eat in the room because you're pigs and you're going to dirty the floor. All right. Your neighborhood preferences. Okay. Make my website your home base. Notice what I said earlier. Use your app. Use your thing. Again, asking your customers. Well, you know what? I'm on the road a lot. By the time I get home, I'm exhausted. So you're going to push the app because that person is going to primarily be working off the app. Oh, you know, I'm a housewife and take care of my kids. I'm usually home. Website, because they could open a laptop or something like that. You see the difference? That's why listening to your people is important for you to suggest what you think is going to be their best preference. Okay, getting to know your neighborhood. This is something that's unique, and this is cool if you have time. To me, if they're looking for an $800, $1 million home, you're going to have time. Drive with them to the neighborhood. After you've done some touring, go to the main strip. Find a few restaurants. If you're in Long Island and they need the railroad, drive to the 1 or 2 nearest railroad stations. Show you care. Pay attention. If they said they have kids, okay, here's a karate studio available for your son or daughter. I don't want to be sexist. I don't know which one wanted karate. Or your cat. You might have Ninja Cat. I don't know. So that it's listening. That's the type of stuff that you could do. Again, going above and beyond. Or if you don't want to do that, you could highlight 3 or 4 things that they're interested in. By the way, it has 2 dance studios, it has 3 soccer fields, and the high school has one of the top 10 football teams in state. Okay, that shows you care. Okay. Map on the move. There's only one right answer when you find your home. Inventory and economy. But when you find the right host, timing is just right. Below, take comparative, look at the neighborhoods, will fit the inventory. Blah, blah. This page, I look at it, is getting them set up that when we're ready to buy, you need to be ready to buy. That means if you get out of the house and you like the house, we're making an offer in the driveway and send that bad boy in. Because that's how serious it is. And you have to be that serious with them. It's no, well, let's think about it. I want to ask my grandmother. I have to ask my psychic if there's enough feng shui in the house. None of that. Okay. They should bring their psychic with them if that's an option. Okay. If you want to get into this, I use this. Sometimes I don't. if you want to get a little bit of the average pricing in the neighborhoods, I'll show you how to change this when we do the presentation. Home buying, how it works. This is the step-by-step guide, very similar to what's in your app. So there's no surprises. So when you sit there and say, we're going to hire an inspector to inspect your home right after the offer, and it's going to run you $500 to $600 on the average, there should be no surprise. When you have your offer, you need to have an attorney. That attorney is going to cost you anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500. Here are 3 suggestions. On the average is $1,500. That's why I say $1,000 to $2,500. And you want to make sure we're buying a co-op. Here are 3 co-op attorneys you should be using. I know your Uncle Harvey is great, but he's a divorce attorney or a tax attorney. He knows nothing about co-ops. And yes, you do need to know about co-ops. Okay, that's the type of stuff that you're going to review with them. Home buying, how it works. Again, under contract, closing day, all that stuff, all the fun stuff. If you do co-ops like I do, you're going to tweak this to co-op buying, okay? Which is totally different in New York. Totally different. Financing your home, you're going to go through this. Do yourself a favor. Don't refer just one finance. Give them 2 to 3. Because if their financing goes kapooey, they're going to yell at you because you recommended this person. Once you get to know Keller Mortgage, and there's 2 or 3 preferred vendors inside the office that we utilize. Okay, one is Links Mortgage. You can look it up. Shabana is fantastic. And there's a few other people besides that, okay? Home loans made simple, explaining what pre-approval is, what 0+ lanes are. Be careful. Right now, 0+ loans or even the Fed loans. What are give me the name for the Fed loans.
FHA.
FHA. Don't forget, FHA, you could practically get 0 or 3%. You might not, that buying offer might not get accepted because you got people who put 20% down, giving up their kids, buying cake and wine for the listing person. I mean, they're doing some sweet deals. So tell your people there's no seller considerations. You got to prep them early on. Well, I want the seller to pay for all my closing. Yeah. Good luck with that. Have fun. Not going to be with me. Boop. We're almost done, guys.
Oh, Augie,
Yeah, hon.
I'm sorry. It was another program that's called NACA that's similar to FHA, but it's a little different. So that's another avenue that we can give to our buyers as well as that company as well.
Yes, any type of grants, first-time buying grants and stuff like they get, all that's good to know, especially if you're going to be dealing with first-time buyers. I know, Melba, you got that. You should look up state grants, federal grants. How long is it going to take to get?
With NACA, and I'm also familiar with, I do a lot of workshop for non-for-profits who
Awesome.
also provide grants for first-time home buyers.
One of our first clients in buying, this young lady was super smart, man. She had like 3, 4, 5 different programs she was working, had all the applications and got all this free money. She was uber smart, which was great. Your experience, we're in PC, and Melba, you have some numbers, so you might be able to do this. Some of us don't. What we'll do is we could use the office numbers, okay? And we could say, I'm part of a winning team. Yada, yada, yada. Does that make sense? Okay. Competitive advantage. Again, your numbers, if they're strong, if they're not, we could use other numbers, or you could delete this page. Notice we're 21 pages in and we're just getting to us. That tells you that majority of this presentation is them. Your trusted partner. Oh, this is pretty cool. Your customers or clients. This is important. If you could get 1 or 2 or some people that know how you work and plop them in, this will be helpful. Get your mom and dad to hook you up. A promise to you. review this, make sure that you're going to hold this, but this is saying to consistently and clearly communicate. One of the biggest issues clients say that they drop their realtors because they don't communicate. I don't know what's going on. To treat you and your family with straightforward integrity and respect. Don't get annoyed with them if they ask you the same question 42 times. That's part of it. Okay, it's especially if you're dealing with elderly people. You know, it's who they are. God bless them. Answer all questions with ease and concern, yada, yada, yada. Okay. A promise to the community. You want to tell them what we're about, who we're about. Red Day, enriching our community, community service, what we do. Okay. Almost done, guys. How many pages? Okay, 32. We're almost there. Searching safely. Remember, I said, be careful. The app is a good thing because what you could tell your people to do, and what I suggest to my people, I prefer to go with you to the open houses and to your visits. Take my app, drive in the neighborhood, click the little button here. The app is going to now pull you into the neighborhood. Now you could search for the houses that are around the neighborhood that you're looking for. That's much easier. Then when you like a house, click on it and heart it, save it on a collection, and then open it up and share that bad boy with me. And I'll start the process of getting you in. See how simple that is? So they could drive the neighborhood. They could see how far it is to their job, where the railroad is, where the dance studio. Do that all early. You don't have to be there for that. But you're getting them in why your app is important. And I don't know why I'm shouting. You guys should be able to hear me. Okay. It's because I'm half deaf, so I blame it on my hearing. All right. What time is it? All right, getting there. Bottom line, real estate. This is where I come in. I'm here to help, etc., etc., etc. Finding my app is the easiest. Again, pushing the app. Common terms. This is great. A deed, down payment, appraisal. If you got to double pay, if you got to copy this page and add a few more of your own, then that's fine. Okay. More common terms, HOA fee, et cetera, et cetera. These are all really good things to teach them. Your contact information, very important. And this is just, this is the Keller Mortgage page. If you're going to provide them Keller Mortgage, they have to sign this with the understanding that you are part of an affiliation. Keller Mortgage is affiliated with us, and the company makes money from that. Anytime as agents, we have a fiduciary responsibility to acknowledge if the company we're working with might make money in addition to these services. That doesn't mean you're getting rich off of them, because you're not. You don't make any money off Keller Mortgage. But it does save them money in the long run. All right. Okay, so what did you think about this presentation? About the same thing, 32 pages versus 45, but go ahead.
No, I like it because, like you said, you don't have to go through every page, but it's good so they can have it for future reference.
Right.
So I always use it, and I think it's definitely key, and it helps you to stay on track and on point and focused when you're speaking to them as well.
Now, this also helps here. Under that rare occasion that the listing agent doesn't give you the 2%, which is the average. Or when you start doing, by the way, DIO on the average gets 3% or plus on all his buying clients, which means they're subsidizing the 2%. Okay. Why? Because his presentation is probably twice as long, and he goes into his value proposition of why they should use him, how in the long run he's saving them money and time because he's a professional. That's what these presentations do. Overall, what they do is they show you off as the professional, okay, which is what your listing presentation does and what your buying presentation does. From this point on, I love and respect every agent inside our market center. If they decide to meet a stranger at an Applebee's and start touring homes right after that, that's how they run their business. our productivity coaching family needs to do things by the book because that's how you're going to solidify. I will tell you this. You're going to go out there. You're not going to listen to me. You're going to grab a client because he's all excited. And even worse, if they're family, you're going to go through this even better and deeper because they're the biggest pain in the butts. Okay? Because they're going to waste your time twice as much because they're related to you. All right? So what you want to do is set the tone. You're here to help. Because what's going to happen, you're going to waste your time with a buying client because you didn't follow these steps. You're going to be 4 months in. They're going to drop you like a hot sack of potatoes. And you're going to sit there, holy crap, I spent the past 12 Sundays at 2 to 3 hours a piece showing this person. And they bought a house with their Uncle Harvey. All right, that's going to happen. Why do I know? I was a fool once too. There you go. Melva's being honest. We were all fools once. Maybe even twice and a third time. Fool me 3 times, you won't be a fool. All right. All right. Any questions, guys? How do you feel with the presentation? Was it helpful? Was it not helpful? Was it repetitive? Talk to me.
It was very helpful. Thank you so much.
All right, cool.
It's a bit hard for me because am that fool who's like, oh my God, yeah, you want to buy a house? I asked like 4 or 5 questions.
Yeah.
You know, the pre-approval, I always get the pre-approval. I always get the proof of funds. That's
Right.
the question I ask people, proof of funds and pre-approval. I asked like 5 or 6 questions. I don't necessarily.
Question, why do we ask for proof of funds? Great point. I didn't put that in the thing.
Oh, proof of funds, because people say they have down payment money. And then when you look in their bank account, they're like El Zippo. And now in this market, you definitely need, I tell people, I have to make you the shiny penny in order for, and I don't, so I talk to them through strategy about how we're going to look for homes, but I don't necessarily do this whole presentation. And this time around, I want to make sure I have clients and not customers. So this is going to be a hard one for me because I like to do it quick.
I'm with you. You're a New Yorker. It should have been done yesterday. Another reason for the proof of funds, by the way, if you work with co-ops, you need to see, usually there's a minimum down payment for each co-op, and you need 6 months to a year's worth of maintenance in the bank. So if they just have enough to get past the closing costs, say, jodido, you're not going to get anything. All right. You got to make sure. So if it's $1,000 a month as a maintenance, you need $6,000 to $12,000 depending. And if you're doing it in the city and it's a high rise, a year plus. So, and there's a minimum of credit score and it's a minimum of how much money a year they earn. So get to know that because that's reality. Okay. All right, guys. Any other questions, comments? Those of you who are going to be watching this later on Facebook, you could watch this, and also any of those people on here could watch it. I'm going to be setting up the tools over the next day or two. I want to thank everybody. I'm hoping that all of our coaching sessions, at least we have a handful of people. I'm going to try to do a few at night for the part-timers because we have more part-timers than we have full. So we're going to see that. Guys, I'm here to help you. If there's anything I could do, if I don't know about it, I can't help it, okay? And just bear with me as I'm getting used to doing this with my other 17 jobs. My heart's in the right place. Sometimes my time isn't, okay? All right. As always, guys, all the best.
Thanks, Augie.
No problem. My true pleasure, guys. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. By the way, Nanika, your kid, we're going to have a test for your, was that your son? Okay.
Yes, he wanted to say hi. Say hi,
Okay.
Melissa.
Hi, next week, we're gonna have a test, so he should better be paying attention.
Okay.
All right, he's gonna be part of your team.
Monica? What school does he go to? They're like the same.
He goes to Cambria.
I knew that. My daughter goes to Cambria. She froze.
Really?
My daughter goes to Cambria. That's why I saw the uniform. Like that
Oh,
uniform. looks
yeah,
familiar.
All right, good. Wait, you two might make good.
Look at that small world. Yep. I just got.
All right, you guys should hook up. You might make good
Yes.
partners.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, guys. Adios.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one, you guys.